For the love of God, man, have you no decency? He's nothing but bones! If you want this truck, subscribe to win it. Once we hit 10,000, I'm going to pick one lucky winner to receive this vehicle. After that, we're going to continue to give away vehicles and more products. So please, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get to the fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, today we've got TRX4M Injora body. So let's crack her open and see what we get. The lovely stickers as usual. Our instruction manual, very simplistic, as you can see here. And we've got our body. The back cage, side panels for the rear, lights and hardware, and some really cool foam I get to keep for other projects in the near future. Did they give us anything special? Oh, no, nothing special on the bottom. But we do get some nice packing foam, which comes in handy for other RC builds. I really like this foam because it is really, really handy. I've used it on a great many a deal. Okay, so more Ziploc bags for me to carry. I've got an entire drawer full of these. You'd think I'd throw them away, but no. No, I do not. Okay, so we've got some paneling. We've got some side vents here. Looks like a body clip for the bottom. We got a bumper mount for the rear, perhaps. No, this would be for the front, and then I'm guessing this is for the rear hinge. Let's look at our instructions and see what they say. Oh yes, yes, very, yeah, yep, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, let's put this thing together. Probably gonna need a tiny screwdriver. And of course, we got our giant bag of tiny things. So I'm gonna put this together, and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we got the body done. Did some modifications with light lenses that I made out of Lexan, and we shoe-glued those into place, filling up the cavity. It'll give it the illusion that there's nothing behind it. And we colored in the lights and the grille. Next, we're going to move on to putting in the LCG chassis and all the brass and everything else that's going on the truck. Let's do a little bit of a mock-up here. We'll take off the Bronco body and we'll put on this Toyota pickup body. Look at the difference. It's got a more room for your wheels, so it looks actually dead sexy. It's gonna look a lot better when she's done though. Alright, so I am super sneaky. I bought these shocks from what is that? DBRC. The springs, in my opinion, are probably a bit too stiff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking the spring off of the stock Traxxas shock and I'm putting it on at a lower setting. So you can see there the shock is much longer, but that will give me the retention that I'm actually going to need. So I'm going to get a much longer shock stroke with the shock, and that should give us a little bit more flex, I think. So while I had the front shocks off, I went ahead and replaced the steering knuckles, and we've got brass on there now. we're taking the diff cover off and we're replacing that with some brass. And we also have the control arm off, and again we're replacing that with brass. So we're going to do that all at the same time. And I had to take apart the front axle because I forgot to put the brass C-knuckle on. Knucklehead. Alright, now all we got to do is put the rear together. But she's starting to look like a truck. Gonna have to play with the shocks and see where we're gonna set them. Right now I've got the shock set in a really aggressive position on the front, so that should give us quite a fair amount of flex on that. But we will see once she's done. Well guys, I am finding a few problems. The rear brass, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a slight discoloration there, and that is because the set screws on bushing is rubbing. You can see the discoloration there. So the inside of the brass is actually rubbing, so I'm gonna see if I can maybe find a way to machine that out. I've also decided on going back to the stock shocks for now. These shocks, I'm having a little bit of an issue with the piston. Seems to be sticking every now and again on the one shock, so I'm gonna try and open it up and see what's going on. But I'm not getting the ride height that I want. It's not staying low enough. I want it so that the links are relatively parallel to the skid, and what I'm ending up getting is like more angle, which is more for like a lifted truck, and I don't want a lifted truck. I want a rock crawler. So we're gonna redo our geometry and everything there, and hopefully get this back together and have it set up the way we want. And I'll be back when I do that. Well, we managed to do a rudimentary machining there with a drill, a number 7mm hex, and my handy trusty chisel. And we spun that and got some of that material off. It's not pretty, but you know, it'll work, so it's not a big deal. And this can always be sharpened, so yay, win. Well, it's nowhere near done. It's been about 2 evenings so far dealing with putting all the body together and replacing the chassis, and then going through the axles and then changing my mind on the shocks. I'm gonna have to get another set of Injora shocks. These shocks, which are from DGRC, I got these on AliExpress. I don't like them. If they sit too long without movement, they become sticky. Like they, see that? Then they all do that. So that tells me that the seals are not proper in them. So I don't know if I can maybe open those up and replace the seals, perhaps maybe with some Traxxas ones. I'm not sure if we can even buy those, but I'm gonna look into that. So that was the first issue that I had. The second issue was this chassis is about 2 millimeters longer than the stock chassis. And the reason why that is an issue is because this bumper is a clip point for this body. Now, as I close this, it totally bypasses the clipping point. So now I can do one of two things. I can either use my heat gun and try and bend that forward, and then hopefully that'll work, or I can go ahead and clip out a piece of styrene and then epoxy that in there, and then that'll be the new clip point. So I might actually end up doing that. Would probably look a little bit better and wouldn't do any damage. But I mean, she's mean looking. I definitely love this body. Might get my electronics hanging out there. But yeah, she should be a good little truck. But yeah, so now I'm going to leave that how that is, and we'll get back to that on another episode when I finish it and order in some new electronics, and I need a new radio receiver. Probably get another Fat Viper for this one, and blah, 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 blah. All right, guys. Until next time!
Hustle time.